She's the first rookie to win WNBA Player of the Month since the award's inception in 2010, and last night it was no exception. They were sky high for Caitlin Clark and the Fever, but to start the season, they had a little bit of a rough go of it. They lost their first 5 games. They ended up 1-8 through their first 9 games, and during that first month, the playoffs, they didn't feel realistic at all. Indy entered the Olympic break 11-15 on the year, and then they really turned it around. They've won 7 of their 8 since. They clinched a playoff berth for the first time since 2016, which, by the way, was the last year of Hall of Famer and franchise icon Tamika Catchings.
What would you do if your own teammate made fun of you online? That's exactly what happened to Caitlin Clark, the WNBA's hottest rookie. But instead of falling apart, she did something incredible. Clark not only shrugged off the mockery, she went on to dominate the league. We're talking record-breaking assists, playoff appearances, and a Rookie of the Year award. How did she manage to stay focused with all this drama? Stick around because we're about to reveal Clark's secret weapon for handling haters. You know what's wild? Caitlin Clark's first few games in the WNBA were like a roller coaster ride. Picture this, Clark steps onto the court for her pro debut and the whole arena is buzzing.
She has lived up to expectations, right? I'm looking at her the way I look at LeBron James, right? For us, just in the women's side of things, and the hype that she had, the expectations she had.
Let's start with the rookie, Caitlin Clark Kent. Superwoman, you see what I did there? She was on a tear, and last night was no different. Wings, fever. Caitlin Clark set to go as she broke the single-season assist record.
She's been playing like a top 5 player in the league. She's been regularly dishing out double-digit assists in that time frame. Teams can no longer blitz her and trap her.
Fans are on their feet, cameras are flashing, and everyone's thinking, this is it! We're about to see something special. But then, reality hits. Clark's struggling to find her rhythm. Her shots aren't falling, and defenders are all over her like white on rice. It's like watching a different player from the one who dominated college ball. The Indiana Fever start the season 1-10, and suddenly everyone's wondering if Clark can cut it in the big leagues. You can see the frustration on Clark's face. She's trying to make things happen, but nothing's clicking. Fans are getting worried, and the critics? They're having a field day. Social media's blowing up with hot takes, questioning if Clark's college success was just a fluke. But here's where Clark shows she's built different. Instead of crumbling under the pressure, she doubles down. She's watching game film like it's her job, breaking down every play, every defensive scheme. And the gym? It's like her second home. Clark's in there at crazy hours, working on her shot, her handles, her footwork, everything. And then, slowly but surely, things start to change. Clark's passes are finding their targets. Her turnovers are going down, her shots starting to fall. It's like watching a flower bloom in fast motion.
WNBA Player of the Week. There have only been 40 triple-doubles in the history of the WNBA. Cheryl Swoops recorded the first WNBA triple-double during the 1999 season, while Caitlin Clark logged the most recent triple-double earlier this week. She now has 102 on the season and is 19 away from Diana Taurasi in second place and 26 away from UNESCO of the New York Liberty. She ain't beating Asia Wilson for the MVP, but she's beating Angel Reese for the Rookie of the Year. That's a wrap. That's over. And props to Angel Reese, who's had a good year, by the way.
Every game, she's looking more comfortable, more confident. Then it happens. Clark drops 30 points in a game, and everyone's jaws hit the floor. It's like a light switch flipped on. Suddenly, all those doubters are real quiet. The fans are going nuts. The media's scrambling to interview her, and her teammates? They're looking at her with new respect. But you know what's even crazier? Clark doesn't stop there. She keeps pushing, keeps improving. By the end of the season, she shattered the WNBA rookie record for 3-pointers, sinking 122 of them. That's not just good for a rookie. That's elite for any player in the league. Clark's on-court success was undeniable, but off the court, that's where things got messy. Picture this, a superstar rookie, a team full of skeptics, and a whole lot of drama. How did Clark navigate this minefield and turn her biggest critics into her strongest supporters? Let's talk about what it's like being a veteran WNBA player when this hyped-up rookie comes strutting in. You've been grinding for years, paying your dues, and suddenly all the cameras are pointed at the new kid. It's enough to make anyone a little salty, right? When Clark joined the Fever, not everyone was thrilled about the media circus. Some of her teammates were giving her the cold shoulder, and you could cut the tension in the locker room with a knife. There were whispers, side eyes, the whole 9 yards. It was like high school all over again, but with pro athletes. And get this, we've got practice footage of Clark yelling during drills. She's out there pushing hard, really getting after it. But some of her teammates are looking at her like, who does this rookie think she is? You can almost hear them thinking, is she trying to show us up? But here's where things get interesting. Clark starts doing something that changes everything. She's not just scoring, she's setting up her teammates for easy bucket.
Caitlin Clark became the first ever rookie in WNBA history to record a triple-double twice in the same season. In that game, Clark scored her 103-point shot this season, becoming just the 6th woman. My WNBA Player of the Week, surprise, surprise, Indiana Fever rookie sensation, Caitlin Clark. There's nothing really to say other than that. She's winning Rookie of the Year. She's a top candidate for league MVP honors.
Suddenly, those same players who were giving her the side eye are getting wide open look. And Clark, she's celebrating their baskets like she just won the championship. But Clark doesn't stop there. After practice, when everyone else is hitting the showers, she's staying late. And she's not alone. She's working with the bench players, helping them with their shooting form, giving them tips. It's like she's part player, part coach. And you know what happens next? Those same teammates who were skeptical start changing their tune. In interviews, they're defending Clark, praising her work ethic. Kelsey Mitchell, one of the Fever's stars, even says, especially for myself as a rookie coming in here, she was always a positive voice and very supportive. The team's chemistry starts improving big time. You can see it on the court. They're playing like a real unit, not just a bunch of individuals. They're even hanging out off the court. There's this great clip of Clark and Lexi Hull cracking jokes during a press conference. It's clear they're not just teammates anymore. They're becoming friends. While Clark was winning over her teammates, the rest of the WNBA wasn't rolling out the welcome mat. How do you keep your cool when everyone's trying to get under your skin? Clark was about to find out as she faced a whole new level of pressure from opponents and critics alike. You wouldn't believe some of the trash talk Clark had to deal with on and off the court. As she started dominating games, the critics got louder too. It's like they couldn't stand seeing a rookie shine so bright. Opposing players were trying every trick in the book to get in her head. We're talking hard fouls, constant chirping, the whole 9 yards. And social media? It was blowing up with hate. Every time Clark touched the ball, it seemed like someone had something nasty to say. There were clips circulating of her getting knocked down, people questioning her toughness, even some Twitter beefs with other players.
Came out a few weeks ago that said Caitlin Clark received 17% of the WNBA's flagrant fouls this season, and 80% of those flagrant fouls were committed by the Chicago Sky against Caitlin Clark league. And that's what a lot of players and coaches said about Caitlin Clark and about the rookie class coming into the league, is that that was going to be something that they would need to adjust to. They would need to adjust to the physicality of this league. So there have been cheap shots, there have been hard fouls, there have been other plays that haven't even been called flagrant fouls. But when you have the face of your league getting nearly 20% of all flagrant fouls called against her, that is an issue.
It was like the entire league had decided Clark was public enemy number one. But here's where Clark showed she's built different. Instead of clapping back or letting it get to her, she let her game do all the talking. And boy, did it speak volumes. We're talking no-look passes that had defenders spinning, logo threes that made the crowd go wild, clutch plays in the fourth quarter that sealed games. Remember that game against the Dallas Wings? Clark went off. She didn't just get a triple-double. She set a league record with 19 assists. 19. That's not rookie numbers, that's all-time great stuff. And she did it with style, threading passes through impossible gaps, making her teammates look like superstars. But the real kicker? Clark broke the WNBA rookie record for assists in a season. She racked up 337 dimes, shattering the old mark. Suddenly, all those critics who said she was just a scorer had to eat their words. Clark wasn't just putting up numbers, she was making everyone around her better. As the season went on, something funny started happening. The haters got quieter. It's hard to talk trash when someone's dropping dimes and daggers on your team night after night. Even some of the veterans who'd been skeptical started giving Clark props. They couldn't deny her impact anymore. With the haters quieting down, a new pressure was building. The Fever hadn't sniffed the playoffs in years, and now all eyes were on Clark. Would her regular season magic translate when it mattered most? Let's talk about pressure. The Indiana Fever were on the bubble for a playoff spot, and the tension was through the roof.
Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever had over 1.8 million viewers. This is now on an NFL Sunday. They had over 1.8 million viewers, and the rest of the games had around 400,000 viewers. These people are coming in waves to watch one player who has sold out every single arena that she has played in this season. Well, I have not seen the viewership reports for the games last night yet, but I'm sure that it is probably double of what the Indiana Fever game got on Sunday.
Clark had been balling out all season, but this was different. The team hadn't made the playoffs since 2016, and everyone was looking at the rookie to change that. No pressure, right? Imagine this. It's late in the season, and every game feels like do or die. Clark's playing huge minutes, and you can see it's taking a toll. She's got ice on her knees during timeouts, but she's still out there diving for loose balls like it's the first game of the season. That's crazy dedication. In a crucial game against the Connecticut Sun, Clark and Kelsey Mitchell went off. They combined for 42 points, and it was like watching two gunslingers in a shootout. Clark was threading passes through impossible gaps, and Mitchell was knocking down shots like she had a cheat code. The Fever pulled out the win, and suddenly, the playoffs didn't seem so far away. But you know what's wild? The very next game, Clark struggled. She missed some crucial shots in the fourth quarter, and you could see the frustration on her face. The whole team was looking to her in crunch time, and for once, she couldn't deliver. The Fever lost, and their playoff hopes took a big hit. Here's where Clark showed she's got ice in her veins. Instead of getting down on herself, she came out in the next game like a woman possessed. She was dropping dimes, hitting threes from the logo, and playing defense like her life depended on it. It was like watching a highlight reel in real time. It all came down to the final regular season game. The Fever needed a win to clinch a playoff spot, and they were up against a tough team. The game was back and forth, and with just seconds left, they were down by 1. Everyone in the arena knew who was getting the ball. Clark got the inbound pass, dribbled to the top of the key, and let it fly. Time seemed to slow down as the ball arced through the air. And then, swish! Nothing but net as the buzzer sounded. The arena exploded. Clark had done it. The Fever were going to the playoffs for the first time in 8 years. Let's talk about Caitlin Clark's rookie season. It wasn't just about breaking records. This girl changed the whole vibe of the Fever. She turned a struggling team into playoff contenders. That's insane for a rookie. But you know what's even crazier? This is just the beginning. Clark's already got the league buzzing, and she's only going to get better. Imagine what she'll do next season when she's got a full year of pro experience under her belt. The sky's the limit for Clark and the Fever. We might be watching the start of a WNBA dynasty here. One thing's for sure, the league better watch out, because Caitlin Clark is just getting started.